My name is Ellison Mendez, and this is my presentation on play-based learning and education. So I was first interested in play-based learning when I was in my intro to education class, and the principal of Kinsey Elementary School in Flagstaff came to talk to us, and they are very focused on play and project-based learning. So that's the first time I heard of it, and I knew that was what I wanted to do. And then I thought back to my school and I realized that in 3rd grade, um, we had a garden, and I really credit that for coming out of my shell, interacting with my peers in the garden and learning through that. That really stuck with me, and I want to do that for my students as well. So play-based learning is taking the concept and relating it to something exciting and fun and hands-on that the students can do, or like teaching or teaching through a game, as in when they're playing, they're learning without even realizing it. So an example that the principal of Kinsey gave us was that when they do their fraction unit, they have a pretend grocery store. And so they do the it's like decimals and fractions and addition. And they depending on the grade, they do a different section. And then the kids are having fun and they're learning math. And so just things like that I would love to do in my classroom. And I think are very beneficial to the students. And according to a study done by Ellen Fasaha and Angela Pyle in 2016, the kindergarten teachers that they surveyed agree that play-based learning is helps develop social skills, and 59% found the development of social and academic skills. One of the participants said that the kids are put in a position where they have to find solutions to their problems for themselves. There's something they know best, playing. They develop language and communication skills, problem solving, logic, and social skills. And so I think that also has to do a lot with relating the concepts back to what the kids are most interested in. And I feel like elementary age kids are most interested in playing. Um, Vygotsky's sociocultural theory also suggests that education is a social process. The theory really advocates for play as a way for students to grow their knowledge um, of the things around them and their conceptual and abstract thinking abilities. Vygotsky's theory emphasized the influence on children doing things that they partake in and see take place around them. Like, that can be very influential. Um, However, play-based teaching, especially in special education classrooms, can come with some limitations. Because of this, children with disabilities are often not allowed to even attempt play-based learning due to things like mobility limitations. Unfortunately, this exclusion continues all throughout their educational careers. According to Sarah Mohvahedzarholi, in 2018, play is related to better social and communication skills, promotes improved physical and mental health, and provides a critical context for developing and fostering relationships with caregivers and peers. I really believe that all students deserve this opportunity, but also especially that students in the special education programs could really benefit from things like play-based learning. I think that it would be a good, more relaxed way to teach, and like I feel like students would be more receptive. I believe play-based learning is very beneficial to students and plan to incorporate it a lot in my future, hopefully second grade classroom.